didn't. No one tells you until you get up into this journey. I had no idea what I was in store for until I got here. What am I talking about? What I was prepared for. I misunderstood a lot in this lock journey. And the first thing I'm gonna bring up, if you're new here, you've never came across my page, go on a lock journey. It's about time. Time. It's about this. You cannot control the time. It's a patient journey. You have to roll with it. You cannot rush it. And I did not understand the time it would take and the patience it would take having locks. Like, you have to be a patient person on this journey. If not, it's just not for you. I did not understand. I could not rush it. I did not understand, that I was gonna have an overnight success, sensational kind of hairstyle. Like, I did not understand that. I thought everything's gonna be just like this, snapping my fingers instantaneously, like bam, 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 and it was not. I did not understand that I was gonna take a moment, a while for my hair to go through the various journeys. Like, I just didn't understand that you could not. But I did not. I definitely did not know everything about the journey, and that was a little bit stressful. But it happens to the best of us. It really does. And honestly speaking, if I could go back again, I wish I wouldn't stress the time at all. The time definitely stressed me out. It frustrated me. It made me feel like I wanted to give up at some points. But I already mentioned that prior. But I thought I knew that, everything, but I didn't know everything, and that sucked a lot because damn it if I didn't want to be super professional and pro and on top of this journey from beginning to end. And I wasn't, but that's okay because life happens. It happens to the best of us. It's not just me out here. But as I mentioned before, I thought I could control every part of the journey. I could not. I thought, my time in the journey would be quick. It wasn't. I thought, patience had nothing to do with it. That was a lie. Patience had everything to do with it. The timing was slow. I could not control it. And it sucked in that part of the journey. It really sucked. And I definitely was not a patient person, but I grew to have patience. And when you grow to have patience, it gets a lot easier. But if you're impatient, this can be really stressful. Like, I could not help thinking, like, when is it gonna look like this? When is it gonna do that? When am I gonna get this? When am I gonna get that? I constantly was rushing everything. I did not want to wait. I did not want to have patience. I didn't want to have time for anything. I was just frustrated, like, it needs to happen. My hair needs to do what it needs to do now. I had no patience. I did not want to wait for it to, miraculously, ta-da! No, I wanted things right now, right then. I did not want to wait. And that led me to misunderstanding a lot of the journey. Like, that's why people say the journey is spiritual because you grow with it, you learn with it, you have fun with it, and you let it happen. That's what you do. You don't say, okay, in 1 month, in 90 days, in 6 months, you don't do that. As you can see now, my hair is fully locked. There's parts that still stick up when it wants to, that does what it wants to, but that doesn't stop. That continues no matter what. That continues. Today's about a dreadlock journey. Things I misunderstood about my dreadlocks. Yes, hair. I did not know that my hair wasn't gonna just instantaneously become fully locked. I did not know it was gonna instantaneously like just be full and plump and juicy. I didn't know none of that, but I learned. I learned really, really quickly. Like, you gotta have time and patience because it's not gonna just become this swan princess look you wanted to look like. It's not gonna do that. And if you're not patient, thank you. And if you're not patient, you're gonna quit. You're gonna give up really, really quickly. So that's something I misunderstood. I did not know I had to be super patient the entire journey. I did not know it was gonna take so long for it to start looking like something. I did not know all of those things. Another thing I didn't know about this journey was that, you know, people with dreadlocks, it looks like they don't do their hair. It looks like people don't wash their hair with dreadlocks, like they don't comb their hair with dreadlocks, like they don't do it. But that's a lie. And I learned that you gotta maintain healthy hair. You have to, have maintenance checks. You have to, DIY, wash, condition, clean. Like, it was a point in my journey where I thought I didn't have to do anything because dreadlocks grew from dead hair, and I didn't have to comb my hair. I thought I didn't have to wash my hair. I thought I didn't have to condition it. I thought I didn't have to do any of those things. I thought I didn't have to do any of those things because at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, it's dreadlocks, it's dead hair, it's gonna just keep growing and it's gonna keep twirling inside. That's what it does. But No, you need to wash your hair just like people that don't have dreadlocks have. You need to condition it, you need to oil it, you need to moisturize it, you need to not let people play in it, it needs to be healthy. You need to find out the shampoos, conditioners that work for you, what doesn't work for you. You need to be all in it. You cannot go weeks and months without washing your hair. You cannot go weeks and months without twisting your hair. You cannot go weeks and months with neglecting your hair because although it's dreadlocks and it's dead hair, your hair will fall out. I did not know that. Shout out to the chat. He got for pulling up on me. I thought that, the less I did, the better. It's gonna lock regardless of whatever. And dead hair, is gonna just, do what it does. And I did not know that. Again, I didn't even realize that there was dead hair in here helping it grow. I thought this was all fresh new hair from the roots to the ends, but no, there's a lot of dead hair that's supposed to have shedded and lost in this hair, which is why people who come out their life, they have so much hair because this is all dead hair just coiled up in here, coiled up in here. And I thought dreadlocks were for lazy people because I'm super lazy. Like, okay, this is for me. I don't gotta go to the Dominicans. I don't gotta go to the Africans. I don't gotta go to the black people. I could just wake up and go. But no, that was not true. Sometimes your hair is fuzzy in the morning. Sometimes you need to lay your baby hairs. Sometimes your hair looks dry. Sometimes, it needs a wash. You don't know what your hair's gonna look like from day to day. You don't. Sometimes it's cooperative, sometimes it's not cooperative. And I didn't know about that maintenance. I didn't know I needed to keep a routine. My hair type is 4C, so I didn't know I needed to, change my conditioners and lotion creams and butters and oils from natural hair to dreadlock hair. I didn't know about that thing, but that maintenance was important. Like, you need to maintain your hair. Just because you have dreadlocks doesn't mean you can just never wash it, never comb it, never oil it, never part it, never grease it. No, it doesn't mean any of that. But I didn't know that, jumping into the journey in 2020. I'm like, all right, I don't gotta do nothing. I can wake up and go. No, not true. Eventually, yes, in the future, but in the immediate beginning, heck no. HE hockey sticks. No, it doesn't work like that. You gotta keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Not touching every day, but you cannot let it get matted. You cannot let it get too dry. You cannot let it get too frizzy. You gotta separate it. You gotta oil it. You gotta condition it. In the beginning, it's just like any other hair. It doesn't just miraculously become dreadlocks where you don't gotta do nothing. You have to always make sure you're watching out for the red flags and the green flags in this journey. And I didn't know that. I misunderstood so much. I just thought like I was gonna just poof. I'm gonna just be there. Like, I didn't know I had to do all this work. I'm like, this is more than I expected I was gonna have to be. Like today, my hair is not done. I put some oil, some gel, some water, put a scarf on. This is my hair. My hair needs to be washed and all of that, but I'll get to it. I'll get to it really soon. But you gotta have patience. This is for patient people. Yeah, you gotta take care of it. Just because it's dreadlocks and it's dead hair, and it's all coiled, it doesn't mean it doesn't need maintenance. It definitely needs maintenance, and you may not need be able to use the same conditioners and shampoos you use before dreadlock. We need to switch it up. Like, there's so much education and learning to the dreadlock community that we don't shine a light on it. We just talk about the flourish moment when it's like fully and dreaded. We don't talk about the beginning stages where it's like, is it working? Is it? We don't talk about those stages, and that's why a lot of people quit because we're not educated. We're not super on top of what we need to do. We're just in it for the style, sometimes, or for the trend, or because our favorite rapper, actor, singer, artist got it. We're not in it for us. We're in it for different reasons. But to each his own. Some people are in it for the right reasons. Some people are not. But I'm not here to talk about who's in it for the right or wrong reason. I'm just talking about the things I misunderstood. I did not realize that time was of the essence, and I couldn't control it. I did not realize you needed to keep maintaining your hair with maintenance, DI washing conditions, oil treatments, I didn't know all of that. And I got so frustrated, which takes me on to the confidence. After learning all these things, and you can't control everything, it's a big confidence gut punch, because if you want to feel pretty all the time, you may not feel pretty all the time. You want to look great all the time. You may not look great all the time. And it sucks because if you're an insecure, non-confident person, it's gonna show. It's gonna be so visually open on you and noticeable on you that people are gonna look at you and like, oh yeah, she or he may have dreadlocks, but they're not rocking it right, or they don't look great in it, or they're not pulling it off right, or they need to do something to their hair. Like, you gotta have that confidence because people look at you like, what are you doing? Is that dreadlocks? Do you have an afro? Can I touch it? Is there something in there? People say the weirdest things to you, like, no, you cannot touch it. No, there's nothing falling in there. No, nothing in there. It's just my hair. But those disheveled moments have people really like looking at you like, you came outside like that? And you need that confidence to keep going because people will fucking, excuse my French, people will say things that will just, deflate your ego, deflate your confidence. And I've been there. Even my parents, one of my parents was like, "Is it supposed to look like that?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness." One of my parents don't like it, or they probably both don't like it. Like, oh, this is horrible. You want people to like it. You want to like it. You want to look like, you got it going on. And if you don't, people really, really see that really easy. Like, that look a hot mess, And sometimes you can't do nothing about that hot mess look, but if your confidence is not there, you're gonna suffer big, big time. You're gonna really suffer big time. So again, you cannot leave it dry. You gotta keep it moisturized. You gotta find a product that works for you. You cannot just wake up and not do anything. Like you have to put some tender love and care into this. This doesn't just develop overnight. Not wanting instantaneous results. I didn't have patience. I didn't want the time. I didn't want to, really do the maintenance. I'm like, well, they said I don't gotta do nothing but jump up and go out the door. I don't gotta wash and condition. In the beginning, you gotta do all of that. But as it grows and progresses, and develops and blossoms, those things slow down slowly but slowly all the time. But for me, that was my journey. I made a lot of mistakes. I went too many weeks without washing, too many weeks without separating, too many weeks, without seeing a lactician. And I regretted it. It hurt so doggone bad. I was in so much pain. The retwist took so long. I was trying to save money. I was trying not to go all the time. And that was a mistake. I should have just not acted like that. I should have just did what I needed to do and kept my routine. But I was like, I gotta go again. It don't look like lock shit. Like I was just really annoyed early on about a lot of things because I didn't have control of my hair. And I misunderstood you have to be patient during the journey and the process. You can't rush perfection. You can't rush progress. It happens when it happens. And if you're not patient, you'll lose your cool here. You really will lose your cool. And for me, I feel like I definitely almost lost my cool a few times. I almost wanted to quit a few times because I just didn't understand so many things. I'm like, the comparison, looking at the people, looking at my hair, thinking about my hair texture, my hair grade, my hair length, you know, if my hair was damaged, it mentally bothered me. It mentally bothered me to the point where it's like, again, as I said before, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I can't pull this off. I don't know. But it was stressful because you want progress. You want your journey to blossom. You look like what you think other people look like. You want it to, look like it's going in the right direction. And sometime in the beginning, it looked like you don't know what the hell is going on. Like it just looks really, really horrible. But now that I'm 6 years locked, everything's looking good. Nice time, but it wasn't always like this. There were a lot of struggle moments, a lot of moments where I feel like I don't want to go outside today. My hair looks crazy, or I hate how my hair is just being disrespectful, and I don't want it to do this no more. Like there were a lot of times I just wanted to just not do my hair, not go outside. Excuse me, put on the hat, put on a scarf, dress my outfit up down, overdo my makeup because I didn't know what was going on. I did not understand it. As much as I tried to fix it, I couldn't. I'm like, okay, let me just draw attention to other places. And that worked for a long time. But by the time that period ended, it was blossoming. I didn't have to do that anymore. But in the beginning, it was stressful. Like, why am I not getting this? Why is it being so difficult? Like, why am I struggling so much? I really, really felt that way. And once you realize it's not just you, you're not struggling. You're not doing anything wrong. It's part of the journey. As I keep saying, it's part of the journey. So, you may need to educate yourself before you get in this life. And you may need to really educate yourself, let yourself know what you need to do, what you need, before you start because this may or may not be for you. You may not have the tolerance to do this. And that's exactly why I wrote an ebook on what actually mattered, what didn't matter in my life journey. And I took the liberty of uploading Amazon digital copy for people to download on Amazon. And I also took the liberty of, sign up for a Gumroad account where you can actually download the PDF. And that was amazing because, again, there's more people in the world that are interested in dreadlocks than you would even imagine. And there's more people in the world from different cultural, ethnic backgrounds that want to jump on a journey and they have different experiences based on their hair texture and their hair grade. So in this ebook, you'll find out, if it's for you, if it's not, are you ready to jump in? If you're not ready to jump in, it'll let if you know the size you want, if you want the pattern you want, you're gonna do it yourself, you're gonna find a loctician. So all the things you can do to get there without being afraid and procrastinating, and it lets you know, can I do this or can I not do this? So that's why I wrote this ebook. It was a big journey for me to go from beginning to end to share everything I went through because it was really important to say, some things don't make no sense, some things do make sense. These are the rules, you gotta follow it or else. And that's all it really was. So peace out, guys. That's my short rant today. I'm definitely doing a live video, talking about what I misunderstood. I misunderstood the time, I misunderstood the maintenance, and I misunderstood the confidence. You need all three. Without all three, it won't be a successful journey for you. And again, you need to educate yourself before you start the journey because it's not for everybody. You know, again, I made it 6 years. A lot of people quit before then, and I'm happy I didn't quit. I'm happy I kept going, and I know this video is for somebody. It may not be for somebody here right now, but anyone knows anyone alive, can please share my video, subscribe here, like, share, do all that good stuff. I really appreciate you guys showing up for me tonight. Replay game, do your thing. I'm out of here. Peace out. Thank you guys to the chat. Shout out to Elizabeth2794. Shout out to everybody else. The Bob on. All my day one. Shout out to you guys. Go Knicks, go Knicks. New York, we won the championship. Definitely check out my ebook. Subscribe, like, post notification on so you can catch me when I'm going live. Peace, y'all. I'm out. One love. Until next time. I'll rock with y'all later. Bye. Thank you guys for stopping by my channel.